This episode of the What's Happening Delco podcast is brought to you by Delco Meets for Business. Check us out on Meetup, register, and attend one of our fantastic networking meetings, which we meet on the first and third Thursday at the Brick House in Ridley Park, and the second and fourth Thursday at the Upper Crust in Newtown Square. We look forward to seeing you there. What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Jeanne, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Jeanne Angell of Discover Haverford. Jeanne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, and thanks for including Discover Haverford.
Well, what I want to learn today is all about Discover Haverford. What does Discover Haverford do?
So we're an economic development organization in Haverford Township. So that includes Havertown and parts of Bryn Mawr, Ardmore, Wynwood, Haverford, and even a little bit of Drexel Hill. We promote economic development by supporting businesses that are already in the township, and then we recruit businesses that we'd like to see come to the township. We do beautification projects in our business districts. We create events. So we have events in the business districts like our Havertown Holiday Festival, the Haverfood Festival. We're doing these new Third Friday events in several of our business districts. So that's another important part. And then we promote the township as a shopping and dining destination. So we have a website called discoverhaverford.org. And it's kind of a clearinghouse of information for residents or possibly people who'd like to move to the township, for our businesses, and for businesses who'd like to open here. So we have a lot of business recruitment materials on that site.
This is why I enjoy doing the podcast so much, because right off the bat, I learned something. I didn't know that the scope of where you covered was outside of Haverford, and that there are areas of Drexel Hill. So that's an impact that you have. How did all this get started?
So it started 20 years ago. There's an umbrella organization in Haverford Township called the Haverford Township Civic Council, and it supports all the nonprofits in the township. And there was a task force started called the Task Force for Business Revitalization. And I was part of that task force 20 years ago. There were like many different subgroups, and we were kind of looking at ways to improve the business districts in the township. So we worked for several years doing that. And then after about 5 years, it was determined that we should create our own nonprofit and not be operating as a task force out of the Civic Council. So Haverford Partnership for Economic Development, or HPD, was founded 15 years ago. It operated as a volunteer board for a number of years. And then 7 years ago, I was on the board and was hired as the first part-time staff member. Since that time, we now have several staff members who've grown quite a bit. But that's kind of a little bit about the history of how we were created.
What are some of the projects? You mentioned the Third Friday, some beautification opportunities, but what are some of the projects right now that are front and center, or maybe some things coming down the pike that people can expect?
Yeah, so the Third Friday events, it's one of our smaller things that we're doing, but we're excited about it. So we're trying to get the businesses in the district to stay open late. So retail shops are open till 9, and then we're having expanded outdoor dining in that district. We're having live music on the street, and of course we'll be there. Our staff will be there with our tent. So I think that'll be fun. We have one coming up on Friday night, and it's in the Oakmont South District, which is on Darby Road between the old Brick and Brew location and Wagner Real Estate. So, and the next block. It's actually 2 blocks. So I think that'll be a really fun event. It's something we are doing new this year. So we did one in Brookline. We're doing that one. We'll do one in Oakmont Village as well. Our bigger events include the Havertown Holiday Festival, which about 5,000 people came to, and we'll do that again in early December. Close down Brookline Boulevard. We have live holiday music throughout the day. We have a craft booth. We have costume characters, like we had Elsa and Santa came, and we had a tree lighting, face painting. We have a little marketplace for last minute shopping and food trucks. So that's been a really terrific event, and we do a lot of decorating of the street, and it's special. And then we just finished this Haverford Festival. That was last Friday night, and it was a food truck festival.
There is so much going on in the area, and I think the residents benefit so much by what it does and what Discover Haverford offers to the community, and how you arrange this giving back, having things for people to look forward to as just family events or, opportunities to help the businesses grow. What can people expect? You mentioned a little bit about, working with new businesses. What can people expect when they come to you and say, hey, I'm thinking about, starting a business in the area?
Yeah. So we have a bunch of business recruitment materials and a packet that we can give out to businesses. And it includes demographic information, traffic studies. It looks at our consumer survey. So we just finished our consumer survey last week. We do it every other year. And it's asking residents what they'd like to see us recruit. And so that's a good guide for a resident. If they look on that list, for example, I worked with a woman who wants to open up a bookshop in Havertown the last several months. She had seen in our survey that was the number one retail shop that people wanted. So she was excited. That's something she wanted to do. And I met with her several times and helped guide her to find a place. So we are lucky in that retail space turns over very quickly here. So we don't have a lot of vacancies. That's a little frustrating for us because when I am working with someone who's got something exciting to bring, then I have trouble finding a spot for them. But we did actually find a spot on Eagle Road, and she'll be opening up in September. So she was able to use that data to encourage her to open the shop. And that's happened a number of times. So several years ago, a Mexican restaurant was very high on the list. I went to El Limon and dropped off a packet. They ended up coming to Havertown, and we got Senoritas in the same year. They both opened up the beginning of COVID. So it has served entrepreneurs as they're thinking about whether they want to open here. And then I just, work with them, help them with questions about zoning or, who to talk to in the township, basically holding their hand, so to speak, as they're looking to open up.
That is truly impactful and valuable because a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners bring a flashlight to a community sometimes, or they live in their community and they believe maybe a solution or a business is what the community wants, and it may not necessarily be. A bookstore was number one. Can you tell me what were 2 and 3?
Well, one of the things that was very high in the list the last time was an indoor farmers market, which we do have a farmers market, and it's operated by a nonprofit, the Oakmont Farmers Market, and they are open Wednesdays most of the year, like Wednesday afternoon through early evening. But to have a place, be open several days a week, like the one in Wayne or the one in Suburban Square, I think that's something that people would really enjoy. So that was one of the other ones. People have asked about more activities for kids. So a play center or one of those craft centers where you could go and do crafts or host a birthday party there, those kinds of things for younger children, or like a jumpers kind of play space. That was high on the list. We have a lot of families here. Another thing I wanted to mention, one of the things that we did this year, we have done workshops for businesses over the years, and sometimes like on social media marketing and things like that. But this year we decided to focus on entrepreneurs. So we did an entrepreneur panel in March, and it was highlighting 4 of our entrepreneurs that had opened in the last 5 to 8 years. And that was really terrific. And so we had people who were from the township and outside the township come to that. We partnered with SCORE, which is an organization of retired business volunteers, and they do kind of mentoring. Then the next one was really kind of the nuts and bolts of how to start a business, and that was in April. So we're really kind of focusing on entrepreneurship this year.
You have such a passion for your community, wanting to see it come together, grow, people building relationships. Who mentors you? Who inspires you?
Well, there's a group of other volunteers that I've worked with for, 20 years that we call ourselves the Uber volunteers. So this is a paid position, but I also run the tree tender program as a volunteer, and I'm on the Civic Council board. I'm on the board of Visit Delco. I'm involved with a lot of things, my neighborhood civic association. But I have friends who are the same. So Tom Kelly from the Kelly Center, Chris Whiting from the Historical Society. There's a group of us that kind of mentor each other. Rick Miller, who's involved with like probably 10 different things. I would say we mentor each other.
That's cool. I mean, I think where we are in the world where people don't really know the names of their neighbors, you not only know the names of your neighbors, you know the business owners, the leaders, people with thoughts and designs to make the community better. And I think that people can look to you and your volunteers for understanding how to build and grow and be a part of the community. And I think that is so commendable. When people are looking for those activities or to get more involved with Discover Haverford, are there social media sites that you have?
So if people are interested in volunteering with Discover Haverford, we do have a volunteer page on our website, and we do use volunteers both to serve on committees and to be on our board, but also at our events. We need a lot of volunteers to help us for a couple hours at our events. We also have a page called Get Involved on our website that really is, just links to a bunch of other nonprofits in the township. So that's under the community section, and there's probably 20 organizations listed that do take volunteers, and that's already, there on our website. So people could look there. In terms of people getting involved with like their neighborhood civic association, that would be under the Civic Council, which I'm on the board. We do have a handbook for neighborhood civic associations. If people want to know, like, how do I do this? I want to like start a civic association in my neighborhood, or I want to, improve it. Maybe they're just doing an event or two. There's a handbook there that we created of how to run one, all the aspects of it. So Haverford Township is a really amazing place in terms of civic engagement. I don't know how familiar you are with Havertown, but really is amazing. There are so many things that could be done by the township that are really managed by volunteers. And it's really amazing.
Give that website again.
discoverhaverford.org.
And if people want to find you on social media, Facebook, Instagram, is there a presence there?
Also discoverhaverford.org. We have Instagram and we have Facebook.
All right. I can't wait to hear what you're doing in Delco, specifically if you are going to one of your meetings, but you have a cheesesteak craving. Where are you going?
This is outside the township, but I like Thunderbird for cheesesteaks.
It's just a little bit. You're not going too far out of space, are you?
No. But I do most of my dining out in Haverford Township. We have amazing restaurants here. We also have a restaurant guide that's full color, and it's a flippable PDF, and it has 20 pages, and it's all about our restaurants. So that's on the Discover Haverford website under Shop and Dine. Good place to look. So we have some great restaurants here.
All right. So you've satisfied that cheesesteak craving, but you're looking for a pizza. Where are you going for your pizza?
Eagle Pizza.
Eagle Pizza. And what do you like as toppings on your pizza?
Usually pepperoni and mushroom, although sometimes we'll get a vegetarian one that's like mushroom, onion, and green peppers or something like that. But yeah, I'm a sucker for pepperoni.
You just made me really hungry. Thank you. All right. You need a convenience store. Where are you going? Wawa or Royal Farms?
Oh, definitely Wawa.
How do you describe Delco to somebody that's never been here or has not heard of Delco?
Delco has so many aspects to it. You've got the history, which is really important, and actually a lot of culture. So there's a lot of, arboretums, and, there's the Upper Darby Summer Stage, and there's Hedgerow Theater and the Kelly Center. There's so much going on here.
All right, you have friends or family coming in from out of town and you want to give them or take them to have a Delco experience. Where are you sending them or where are you taking them?
Delco experience. I mean, I love the Grange Estate in Haverford Township. That's one of my favorite places here. It's a historic estate. They have a huge train display at the holidays and then tours there. And that's something, if it was at the holidays, I would definitely bring them there. Where else? I like Tyler Arboretum. I'm a garden person. So Tyler Arboretum or Chanticleer Gardens, those kind of places are always high on my list. And theater.
So your tour is going to be outside amongst the flowers, the floral, the fauna, all that stuff. But you mentioned the Grange Estate, and yes, during the holidays, their display is magnificent. If you have not been, we just discovered that last year, and it's such a gem. The room with all the specific Christmas ornaments, and it's just overwhelming, but it's just beautiful, and it really puts you in the spirit. Then you go for that train display, and it really kind of sets the mood. So again, one of those other things in the Delco community that we're proud of. We should all know about it and be proud of it.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Go to the website, discoverhaverford.org. Check out your socials, Discover Haverford. See what's going on. See people out and about doing great in the community. Make sure you like, share, and comment. Also, like, share, and comment, and follow on what's happening Delco. Jeanne, we can't wait to see out these festivals, all the things that Discover Haverford is doing to make such an impact in the community. Thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you. And thanks for including us.
Hey, it's Rich. Thank you so much for being a listener to the What's Happening Delco podcast. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to learn more about the people and businesses in our community. I have been a real estate agent for over 25 years, working with first-time home buyers to last-time home sellers. As a listener of the podcast, my gift to you is a complimentary 1-year American Home Shield home warranty. This is for buyers and sellers that I help. If you're looking to move anywhere in the United States, I have you covered with an amazing network of real estate agents. I look forward to hearing from you. My direct line is 215-313-3777, or you can email me at rshaneremax@comcast.net. Oh, by the way, I am never too busy for any of your referrals.